Today we are starting a new journey. We are entering the world of algebra. Algebra is the gateway skill to all other higher level math. But don't worry, it's not as hard as you think it is. We're going to take it step by step and we're going to just start with the basics. Then every day we're going to add another layer to those basics, and pretty soon you'll be doing full algebra. So today we're going to start with just the beginning parts of what you need to understand about equations. And those are expressions and variables. Now, what is an expression? Well, it's just half of an equation. It's one side before the equal sign. Notice I have numerical expressions and I have variable expressions. The one thing you see missing, no equal signs, because expressions never have equal signs. But what do they have? Well, they definitely have all the operations. So you can see addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. They also have numbers. They can be positive numbers, negative numbers, but sometimes they look like letters. And people often are confused, well, how do you do math with letters? Well, the reality is the letter is hiding a number behind it. I think of a door, and on that door is a big letter X. Behind the door is a number that's just hiding. And our job in algebra is to open up that door and see which number is hiding behind it. In algebra, you're going to learn how to find what that number is. So expressions are very simple to look at. But if you look at this, you can see that because there's no equal sign, how can I figure out what an expression actually equals? Well, they have to tell us what that variable equals if we have it. That's called evaluating an expression. So here, think of the door has an A on it, and hiding behind that door is a 4. But I have a second door that has a B on it, and hiding behind that door is a 2. And I have a third door that has a C on it, hiding behind that door is a 16. Now notice all the numbers are different. Therefore, they have to have different letters. That's why we call them variables. In this example, A is equal to 4, but in another example, A might be equal to 25. It varies based off the problem. But never can A and B equal the same number because we are using different letters for that. Now, if I'm going to evaluate, which kind of means solve, I need to replace the variables with the number that's hiding behind it. So here you can see I took my A and I replaced it with 4. I took my B and I replaced it with 2. As soon as we do that, well, then we can solve it. And we know that 4 plus 2 equals 6. Now notice I'm solving down because I'm not using the equal sign because expressions don't have equal signs. So same thing here. If I have C minus A, well, the only way I can solve that is I have to plug in what C is and plug in what A is. Well, C is 16, A is 4, 16 minus 4 is 12. We can also do it with multiplication. So if we have AB, notice there's no multiplication sign there because in algebra we don't use multiplication signs. For every other operation, addition, subtraction, division, we use an operation sign, but multiplication we don't. And it's often because in multiplication, that multiplication sign looks like the variable X. So we just don't do that. So whenever I see two letters together, I know that has to be multiplication. So here I'm going to replace A with 4 and B with 2. Notice I didn't use the multiplication sign, but I did use parentheses there. And that just helps us see that it's not the number 42, it's the number 4 times 2. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. And the last one is our division. And in division, we frequently don't use this division symbol. We use the fraction bar. And so here we have A divided by B. I just replaced those numbers with their 4 and the 2, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So in algebra, the basic building block of all equations are expressions. And you've just been introduced for the first time to those variables. So Always when you see a variable, substitute the number that's hiding behind the door in order to solve for that variable, and that will be our goal with algebra. I'm glad we're on this journey. Good luck.